Yep, you're enduring probably the worst content you can find on YouTube. This is legit just me deciding that I'm gonna have a phone standing on the side of a water bottle and just filming something in my room. Yep. Anyway, I made a short about the quarks, and a lot of people doesn't seem to like it because I didn't elaborate on anything. Understandable. Now let's elaborate on something. So yes, I bought the Moondrop Quarks because it's so goddamn cheap, and I need a pair of gym earphones because I don't want to break my other 20 pair of IEMs. Yeah, I'm not joking. 20 pairs. Anyway, the quarks. In a nutshell, I want to say the quarks is the silver spaceship, but not so silver. In the super spaceship, but not so super. It is just quarks. It's a spaceship. It's very similar in price point comparing to previous silver spaceship, but except it is actually half off. At $10, it is going down to, the level of airline freebies, like in terms of price. But these don't sound like airline freebies. They sound really nice. I'm going to talk about a sound and my personal gripe about it in a little bit. But let's talk about, let's go through the entire review. Let's talk about the entire, build quality and the experience first. And so first, the box. It's very understandable, anime girl. Nothing fancy, but nothing you expect more, from $10. So the unboxing experience is pretty standard. And they have, a pretty nice egg bag. That's a plus. And for the IEM itself, a lot of people say it's not a replaceable cable. They say it as if it's a problem, but I don't see it as a problem since the cable is probably going to cost 2 times this pair if you want to make it replaceable cable, which I don't think it makes sense at all. So the cable is attached directly to the earphones. I'm totally fine with it. And it also helps with shrinking down the size, which this pair, absolutely tiny. It's microscopic. I love it. How it just totally, wearing it, it just totally disappear into your ear. You can just, as if it wasn't there, just lay down with it. You do whatever the hell you want with it. I use this as my personal gym earphones. And these work splendid as gym earphones because they just go in and you don't even feel it. And doesn't get a lot of knocking around. It works. It just works. And the cable quality, it's not too bad. I have to wait a little bit and then see how the cable sort of age with time, but it's a really soft kind of plastic silver feel to it. It feels kind of greasy and glossy. Let's hope the grease can, sort of stick around and remain this kind of softness. But this cable, I have nothing to say against it at this kind of price point. And also, it got that, little pellet. The little pellet that Moondrop always put in their headphone cables in. Really nice. Really nice little detail here. Even though it's made out of rubber now instead of, I think it was metal. But it's fine. Everything is still fine. And talking about the headphone, the earphone itself, look at these. They feel very cheap. They didn't really feel that nice in your hand. They feel pretty cheap, to be honest. They feel about at this kind of price. But just looking at them, it looks phenomenal. I'm not sure which camera is filming, but this looks phenomenal. It just looks like really, really nice, and you see everything in the middle. It sort of reminds me of how the Blessing 2 works. It is just nice, and they got the design down. They don't have any boisterous kind of colors. They keep it clean, and they mark left and right with these really, really stylized kind of letters and the 3 dots, which is the quarks, because the quark have usually have 3 quarks. Yeah, it's cool. It is a very cool and understated design that also is kind of beautiful. That's the kind of design I really like. The design that doesn't shout, but whisper, hey, it's cool. I love these. I love the design. That's actually the major reason I bought these. Also because it's a Moondrop. Yeah. So in terms of build quality and just overall feel, I have no complaints. These are so good. These are so good for a pair of gym earphones. You don't really worry about like breaking it because it's built very solidly, and even if you break it, you can just resolder it back. And these just fit so snug in your ear. They go in very deep. So it is just fantastic. And I feel like I've been repeating myself for a bit now. So what about, let's talk about a sound, which is the gripe I'm talking about. The sound, I feel like a lot of people like to talk about how the timbre is a little bit off and the resolution up top is not the best. Understandably, at this kind of price point, the top is not going to be the best. Very understandable. You can sort of see, they have like a frequency response graph in the back, and you can see that it directly dips off after the 3K mark, which sort of creates that little bit of a, it have less airiness comparing to some of the higher end Moondrops, and like I would say the Blessing 2 and the Starfields, you have a little bit less air, but also in return it have a little bit less shrill. So it's a trade-off. I always say it's not a good trade-off nor a bad trade-off. It's just a trade-off. Depends on how you like your sound. I personally enjoy the Starfields and the Blessing 2s a little bit more comparing to this, which is, I would still say it's still very good on up top. And now we can talk about like the bass. Yeah, I'm averting the mid for now. And that's my biggest problem with this pair, but we can talk about a bass. The bass is just very nice and rapid and flat. It's a little bit, it doesn't hit very deep. It just feel like it reaches the point and just like, oh, I'm done. I'm just bring straight back up. It's rapid, but it doesn't really hit that deep. So if you really enjoy the sub bass, this is not probably going to be for you. It reaches a point, it's done, it pulls back. That's what the bass is. The mid and highs, the timbre is a little bit weird, but hey, it's $10. Don't think about it as if it was like $300, okay? Like, I can omit all those problems because it's $10, but there's one problem I cannot omit because I feel like this is more of a decision that they made with the Quarks. Instead of actually just because, restriction with the budget, is that they took... Yes, I'm gonna make sure that you guys can see it. They took a big scoop out of the mids. They scooped the mids. That's something you're not supposed to do. They scooped the mids by 5 decibels. They just take a fucking scoop and scooped out the mids. I'm a little bit cross, to be honest. Like from 200 to about 3K-ish. No, actually 200 to about 2K. They scooped 5 decibels out of it. It's a decision that they did. It's not like, oh, because we cannot do it. Like, it's a tuning. They chose to tune it this way. Which I would feel like this is what I would introduce the other people, like, to my friend group. This is going to be the gateway drug. The definitive audiophile starter pair. I'm going to get them out of their beats into these. But this is not the definitive Moondrop sound. That's my problem. It is more popularized, I understand, but it is just not definitive Moondrop. I feel like it is the decision that they made to scoop out the mids, to, appeal to the broader audience, which I totally can understand, but that just ruins it for me, who want to introduce, like, non-audiophiles into, like, first of all, getting used to and starting to enjoy these kind of more natural, more just just more flat, less V-shaped sounds. And this pair cannot do that. The mids is quite recessed. It's recessed to the level that I always just want to say, hey, is there something missing? I know 5 decibel doesn't sound like a lot, but it is just, it feels like something is missing within the mids. And I feel like that is certainly a decision that they made to do, to appeal to the wider audience. I understand why they do it, but I don't like it, okay? I do not enjoy it. That is the gripe I was talking about. So at the end of the day, if you want a pair of earphones for dirt cheap and you don't want to worry about them at all, get this. It's perfect. It's like, it have like all the build quality, all the nice features. For $2 extra, you get like a microphone that is actually metal and really clicky and nice. It's perfect. But for me, I want to introduce Moondrop as a brand, audiophile, like as a thing to my friends, and I wanted to use this as the gateway drug. But it's not quite the thing I imagined it to be. It is just slightly off. I don't hate the sound, but I hate the sound as these are Moondrops. I'm fine with this sound on any other headphones, any other earphones. But because this is Para Moondrop, I have specifically a very high standard, and I expected a tuning going into it, and it didn't quite deliver. Please make a change next time. Just tune it a little bit. Just bump the middle up to at least a flat level. I can omit all the rest of the technicality differences. Just bump the middle, please, the mids. Bump it up to this, at least it's flat. And also, I want to maybe try removing some of the foams to get rid of some of the, recessed highs, which I feel like that's fixable. But the mids, that's down to the driver design. Please, redesign the driver, Moondrop. I really, really want this to be a good pair of earphones for beginners. I just want to give this away to all my friends so that they can start enjoying these kind of sounds. Please, Moondrop, please. If you're watching this video, please, okay? That's about it. And this is probably going to be my setup for the next year or so. Yeah, I don't have a fancy TV anymore, so you guys have to deal with it. It's shitty, but it is a setup. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Next time we're probably going to be talking about some costs, so stay tuned for that. We are going to be modding some live, maybe? If you're interested, show me in the comments. If you're interested in looking at me modding some COS KSC 75s for myself, because I did a pair for my friend. If you're interested in looking at me modding a KSC 75, leave it down in the comments. And don't forget, subscribe. Oh, why am I doing this?